Hello, everybody. My name is Donovan Worthy, and this is the channel called I'm Gon' Tell You, a channel where I talk about my favorite TV shows, favorite games, and sports. And it can be all games from video games to games such as Survivor, which we're actually going to talk about today. And for this, it's Survivor 50, Hands of the Fans. So for this one, we have a whole lot of contestants, 24 to be exact. We have Jenna from season 1, Colby from season 2, Stephanie from season 10, Sari from season 12, Ozzy from season 13, Coach from season 18, Aubrey from season 32, Chrissy from season 35, Christian, Angelina, and Mike from season 37, Rick from 38, Jonathan from 42, Dee and Emily from season 45, Hugh, Tiffany, and Charlie from season 46, Genevieve from season 47, Camilla, Kyle, and Joe from season 48, and last but certainly not least, Rizzo and Savannah. And for the teams, we have three of them: Vatu, Kahlo, and Sela. For Vatu, there was Colby, Stephanie, Aubrey, Angelina, Q, Genevieve, Kyle, and Rizzo. For Kahlo, we had Coach, Chrissy, Mike, Jonathan, Dee, Tiffany, Charlie, and Camilla. For Sela, we had Jenna, Sari, Ozzy, Christian, Rick, Emily, Joe, and Savannah. And so far, we've had a good number of eliminations, more than I expected. So for the first episode, we actually had two eliminations. Well, one of them was due to injury. So we had Jenna get sent home first, then Kyle due to an injury and a challenge because he injured his ankle, and that hurt. It definitely did. But then after that, we had Savannah get sent home, which I'm not gonna lie, I loved it seeing her go home. She did not need to be here. She's a winner, trying to get like more money, and she wasn't going to get that anyways because she's tired. So I don't know why they had to force her to come on here. Same with Rizzo, but he didn't win. So I guess that applies differently to Savannah. But then we get one of the worst eliminations, in my opinion, of the season. Q got sent home, and I hated that. Did not like it. He didn't have a vote. There was nothing he could do, and they just sent him home for it. And then, funnily enough, in the next episode, Mike White, the person that voted for Q, he got sent home. So that kind of made me feel a little better, but yeah, not much. And then we had this sort of, oh no, wait, before that, we had Charlie get sent home thanks to Camilla, since she was the swing vote at the time. And then in the next episode, we had this sort of blood moon where three people actually got sent home: Genevieve, Camilla, and Colby. I didn't like the Camilla one because Jonathan flipped, and that will come back to bite him. I'm not sure when, but it will. And then we had Dee get sent home, and she was the last winner. So now it's confirmed that we are not going to have a repeat winner in Survivor. So, Mom, what do you think about all of this? Do you like the season so far?
Yes, I am liking the season so far. I do agree with you with the Q elimination. I didn't like that because I thought he was a great character, or sorry, great player, and I was looking forward to seeing how he strategized and played the game. But he got knocked out so early, you didn't get a chance to see that. So I think that was a loss to the show. Savannah, I don't like Savannah, and I agree with you. She won already, so she really didn't need to be there, and she just looked like she was tired. She didn't look like she was in the game, so I think she was probably happy to be voted off.
Got you. And who do we?
Charlie was a non-factor.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. You got it.
That Charlie guy, we didn't really get to know him. I mean, I didn't see his past season, so I didn't know much about him. But I didn't really get to know anything about him in this season either because he was filled out so quickly. And the first few episodes were just looking at the one tribe that was losing over and over again. So we got to know Christian, Emily, um, those people that are on that team that was getting voted down pretty quickly. But the other tribes we didn't know much about, and Charlie was part of that. So I didn't know much about Charlie. And the other eliminations so far, I think, are on par. So I agree with those. And I don't think any of them really will be missed. Like Genevieve, she's not going to be missed. The Mike White one, I was glad about that because I didn't like his little alliance with Emily and Christian. I didn't like that alliance. So I was glad to see him go. Plus, he's rich too, so He doesn't need the money.
Got you. And who are you loving in this season? Because for me, it's Stephanie, even though she's kind of playing a little bit on the deep end. And then
Mhm.
there's Sari, Ozzy, Q, of course, Kyle, Tiffany, and Camilla. And unfortunately for Camilla and Kyle and Q, they're gone. And that's unfortunate. But we have to work with what we have now, which is Stephanie, Sari,
Mhm.
Ozzy, and Tiffany. And with the way Tiffany's looking right now, I think she has a shot. She does. I think she does.
I
But what
hope
do you think?
so. I hope she does. I don't know. I think she's still gonna have a tough time. Um, but I think now, well, I don't want to jump ahead because we're not going to talk about tonight yet. So
Spoiler.
I don't know. I'm still kind of shaky about Tiffany. I like her, but I don't know. I just for some reason she reminds me of past characters where they're just dead set on wanting to vote off certain people, and they can't really give a good reason. She's one of them because she's pretty friendly, but I don't know. I'm not even sure why her name got tossed around to begin with, because she's like pretty. She's not neutral, but she doesn't really bother anyone. She's kind of not to herself, but she seems athletic, seems smart, she seems friendly, but her name keeps getting tossed out there. So not sure how that's going to pan out for her. I'm sure if she won, I would be happy. Would be nice to see her win. Of course, I mean I like Stephanie. I think she's originally from New Jersey, so I like that. Um, of course, I like Ozzy. I've always liked Ozzy, and those are the ones I like. Sari, I don't know why everybody likes her so much. I mean, she doesn't do much for me because she's always sitting out all the challenges, so she's not doing much. And she seems to be a mover and shaker. She talks too much for me too, but we'll see how that plays out in the future.
Yes, we will. And going off of that, who are we just not vibing with this season? For me, it's Coach, Christian, Emily, Rizzo, and Savannah. And fortunately for me, one of them's already gone, and I'm loving that. But as for the other four,
Yeah.
especially Coach, I can't stand him. He is such a hypocrite. Like he will literally preach about honesty and integrity, make you seem like he's a good person, but then the moment something doesn't go his way, he's done with you. He will literally just like lose it when people are in about his plan or you don't go with his plan. He's just someone you don't want to be with, and then that's why people are trying to like they're seeing now this is the old coach and nobody wants that. And as
Mhm.
for Emily, Miss talks a lot. Yeah, she needs to put a clamp on that because I'm so sick of it. That's partially why Q got sent home. She kept running her mouth. She was the one who came up with that to send him home. She started that. So I'm very pissed at her for that
Mhm.
because she had a lot to do with that. Even though Q didn't have a vote,
Yeah,
there was
I
still
don't like her.
a lot of her
I don't
fingerprints
like
on
her.
that.
Yeah, she's a snake. I think someone called her that. Was it Mike White?
Yep.
Before he got voted off, he said she was a snake,
And look what
and he
happened to
called
him.
it. Yeah,
The
he
moment he
called
called it
it.
out, the moment he
Hmm.
said that, he got sent home.
Yeah, she's a snake. She's a snake and Christian, and they, as the game progresses, I want to just watch out for those two, and that Rick Devins guy. Those are people to watch out for because they're like
Totally.
they try to seem very unassuming and like innocent. They're cutthroat. Those three, those are three to watch right there because of their cutthroat nature. Um, Definitely watch out for them. But I definitely don't like Emily or Christian, and I don't like Coach. So those are the three most hated characters to me.
And off of that, who do you think will win? For me, I got to go with my girl Tiffany and Stephanie because she's the whole package. She's fit. You know, she's still in her 40s and she's still doing
Mm.
what she can do. She just came off of a journey win where she literally had to like hold like a bucket of water up or something for like an
Oh
hour.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, she
yeah.
still got
She's
it.
killed. She rocks. She's been rocking since she whatever season she was on there.
Season
She's
10.
good. Yeah, I like her because I thought she should have done better in her season. Unfortunately, she was on the wrong team.
Yep.
So, but she rocks. She kicks it. She's good, but right now she's like playing in the middle. I don't like that. I wish she'd stop doing that. Um, because it's like to me it's weak. Because she don't need to do that. But I guess she's trying to stay small so that nobody says, okay, she's a threat. Because eventually they're gonna say, okay, she's a
Yeah.
threat because she is. And more, I think she's more of a threat than Tiffany. But that's why I don't like how she's acting right now because she's being. To me, I don't like she's being weak. She's led around about who to vote for. She never gives her own opinion. She just takes what they say and goes with it. I don't like that that's not going to be well for her later on in the series because that's going to get tired after a while when they start whittling down the people more and they get starting to look at who's there. That's not going to keep her safe. So I hope she comes up with another type of tactic of how she's going to stay on there because just agreeing with everything that Jonathan says and I almost said Ozzy. Well, yeah, Ozzy too. They just tell her who to vote for and she does it. That's never a good position to be in on Survivor, is it?
especially in Survivor 50. Like you
Mm-hmm.
have to make your stand. You're either with this alliance or you're with that
Yep.
alliance.
Yep.
So I hope she
Because
figures out to pick a side soon, because if not,
yeah,
it's kind of curtains for her, and she's going to be right on
she
that
should.
jury if she
Yep.
makes it to the jury.
Her and Ozzy playing that game where they're just trying to, stay small and just go with the flow. They may. Well, I'm not gonna say anything again because I don't want to spoil the current show.
Well,
So,
I'm sorry.
I'll
Yeah, little correction. After D got sent home, the jury has officially started. So Stephanie did make it to the jury,
oh
fortunately.
yeah. Well, we'll see. I want her. I mean, I would like for her to win, but it is what it is. But she's gonna have to get more of a backbone if she thinks she's gonna win.
And I think
So
she will.
unless she wants to win all the immunity challenges, which we know she can do.
Yes, she definitely can. And
Mm.
as for Tiffany, I just hope it just works out for her, because she's kind of just there at the moment. I'm sure
Mm.
that's going to change. I mean, she's gotten more confessionals, thank goodness, because whatever she was doing in the first half of the season, she had like what, three confessionals?
They
Yet
couldn't do
you need much
anything.
more than that. A
Mhm.
lot more for someone like
Yep.
her on one of
The
the best
other
seasons, in my opinion, which is 46.
was it Sela tribe? I'm not sure what the tribe is, but they kept losing, so they had to keep looking at them and centering them because we got tired of looking at Emily.
Yeah,
I
it
know
was
I
the
did.
Sela tribe. It was.
Yeah.
And so, what do you believe? Idols or no idols? Well, excuse me. For starters,
Um.
we've had idols actually in this season, but I'll get to that in a minute. For idols, for those who don't know, there's the tribal immunity idol, which is a team idol where no one from that team can get sent home. And then there's a super idol where you can literally use it after the vote, you can use it before, whatever. Like you're safe if you use it. You have an idol nullifier, which literally nullifies an idol, making it useless. And then you have a temporary idol, which has an expiration date on it. You have fake idols, which are becoming more prevalent by the day in Survivor, where you literally just have the note and like a little fake bracelet or whatever it is. And then the hidden immunity idol, one of the most popular ones, where you can use it, save yourself. You can actually give it to someone else. But contrary to that, which is the next idol, you have the Billie Eilish idol, which is actually in this season, where you can literally send it to somebody else on another tribe. They can't give it to anybody else. However, if they get sent home with that idol, it goes back to the sender, which, yeah, I'm not a fan of that, especially with three of them being on the island, and you can't, like, you could literally have all three of the idols and get none of them back, which is unfortunate because for this season, Genevieve, Christian, Aubrey, Rizzo, and Ozzy have either found the idols or they gave them to somebody. And so far, none of the senders have gotten them back, which is unfortunate. But how do you feel about the idols, Mom?
I think there's too many of them. It's too confusing for me to keep track of them and what they do. I go back to like the days of old Survivor. Immunity challenge, if you win, that's what saves you. When they start introducing all those other idols, I don't know. It's just too much for me to follow. I can't follow it. And it seems like this season they've got all these different things: shot in the dark, steal a vote,
Block a
Billie
vote.
Eilish, all this mess. I can't get with it. It's too much to follow. I just want to watch the game, win immunity during the challenges, and then you're safe. That's what I think. But hey, that's what they've come up with. So we'll see what happens with it.
Well, what I think with the idols, I think you can keep them but not have as many of them, because, like, to your point, it is kind of ridiculous how they just like have all these advantages left and right, and like you can go on to Exile
Mhm.
Island and win an advantage. It's kind of like too much. I feel like it should just be one idol, like literally just one idol, and you can only use it during the merge, when you, if you get to the merge, and you have to win it in a challenge. That's how it
Right.
should be. But if you do that, then everybody's gonna know you have an idol, which you lose that like element of surprise. But I feel like it just has to be that way, because these idols, like as of late, they've just been getting way too out of hand,
Yeah. It's
and
out of
have,
control.
and have literally cost people millions.
Hmm.
But off of that, we have tribe swaps. And how do you feel about them? Like, in my opinion, I like the tribe swaps. I actually like it because nobody's comfy. They're not in their little cliques. And the only way you can get into your clique is like you somehow pair up with them when they do a tribe swap, like when you pick the buffs and whatever. But no, I'm liking it. Like, you're not comfortable. Like, every episode in Survivor, you have to adapt. And I like that. But what about you, Mom? What do you think?
Yeah, I like the switching. Hope they do it again. Actually, I don't want them to get comfortable in their cliques. I want them to just at least pay attention to the challenges because that used to be like the number one thing was a challenge, winning immunity. Now it seems like they don't even care if they win. It's like they just gone past the challenge part and on to who's going to be voted off next.
Yep.
That's all they care about. Because at one time they were like, oh, looking for wood, looking for food. They don't do that anymore. They just skip past that. They're on to picking the next person because I guess you feel like they're going to lose the immunity challenge, so they're just on to who's getting picked off next. So I see the show centers more around that, and it doesn't center around anything other than that. It's just like who's getting voted off. So all this strategizing that goes on, and when they merge the teams or when they swap them around, I like that because then that mixes them up, and then they got to start over, and it doesn't give them time to sit around and do all that strategizing, for who's going to do this and that. And I love it because in that way they show their hand because they're all telling lies. So I guess it gets more exposed when they switch when they merge around and stuff like that. So I
Yeah.
liked it. Hmm.
No, I love it too, and I don't like how they just literally sit around camp and do nothing, like not trying to
Hmm.
get food, not trying to get nothing. You have people just sitting there doing nothing, not pitching in whatsoever. Like, I don't like that. That doesn't sit right with me. Like, it shows you're not a team player and you only care about getting to the merge. But guess what, buddy? You're not getting to the merge because you are getting voted out, hopefully.
Yeah.
And I just don't like that. But I do like this new tribal count, like this tribe swap.
Hmm.
And I don't like that either. Like, to your point where they just skip right to the challenge. Like, they don't even care
Hmm.
about winning anymore. Like, you don't want to try to
Nope.
win because like if you win, you don't even have to think about who's going home or what we're gonna do. Like, you have to
No.
win. And like, I get it, you're not gonna win every single challenge, even though there have been seasons where we've had teams literally win like 10 straight and we had one person on a tribe.
Hmm.
That was actually Stephanie's season where she was all by herself because her team
Yeah.
just didn't help
Yep.
her whatsoever, which that was unfortunate.
Hmm.
But
Agree.
yeah, back to our points. Loving the tribe swaps, and I hope to see more of them.
Me too.
And that will do it for this episode of Survivor on the channel. I'm going to tell you, I'm Donovan Worthy,
I'm Gina Worthy.
and we will see you next time. Have a good day.
Bye.